Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friend. This is so exciting. We are going to be learning the Siyata D'Shmaya, the Sugya of Aninus and Avelus. This year should be a Schus, or of David Henech Mordechai, then free the Simcha, B'Sol Shach Israel, and the Schus, Chayalei Tzahal, now involved in a lot of shelling in the south of Israel. The sheet of the Rif in Brachas Dr. Zayin Amid Beis is that Avelus B'Yom Rishon is D'Oraisa. Brings the pasuk that Aaron said to Moshe, and he was angry that Chatas wasn't eaten. So Aaron answered, how could we eat? We're owning him. Can't be. We can't eat the Chatas because we're owning him. And therefore, since an owning is not allowed to eat the carbon Chatas, we didn't eat. The pasuk is the Sarachat is Darish Moshe, V'Yisvini Soraf, V'Yiktov, V'Alazar, V'Abisama, V'Nahar, and Esar, and Lamor. He got angry. The Chatas that was burned, he got angry at Elazar and Isama, the son of Aaron, saying, why didn't you eat it? Skipping a little bit, and Aaron said to Moshe, "Ukivus chatas and v'solos from Hashem, v'tikreno sika ela, v'achalti chatas hayom, v'yita b'nei Hashem." Will that be good in the eyes of God? Absolutely not. It won't be good in the eyes of God. So anyway, you see that Avelus B'Yom Rishon D'Oraisa, and we have a pasuk, so that's why they couldn't eat the chatas. So the Rif holds that Aninus and Avelus is one inyan, and since Aninus l'gabe achilas kachim is D'Oraisa, as it says, V'achalti chatas hayom. And Meila, Avelus Yom Rishon, is also D'Oraisa. And so it's the Rambam at the beginning of Chosei Perak Aleph. Allah Aleph, so is the sheet of Tosin Eruvin, Daf Vav Amid Aleph. Or the sheet of the Re, which is brought in the Rosh, Perak Imdoit Kat Siman Gimel, and so brings Rabbeinu Yonah, so Perak brings the Brachas. In the name Rabbeinu Tzarfas, V'Ramban B'Torah Sod Mishim Chachmei Tzarfatim. That there's no Avelus D'Oraisa at all. So the Rif holds that Avelus Yom Rishon is D'Oraisa, and so does the Rambam. And other Rishonim hold, no, there's no Avelus D'Oraisa at all. And even though Aninus Yom Rishon is D'Oraisa, Aninus L'chud v'Avelus L'chud. That Onein Asir Yom Rishon and Ator v'Achilas Kachim, or v'Achilas Ma'aser Sheni. As it says, Lo Chalti B'Oni Mimeni, now that he Kachim or Ma'aser Sheni. Kachim, we had a pasuk before, Ma'aser Sheni Lo Chalti B'Oni Mimeni. Like they say in Vidin Ma'asus. But anyway, when I was in Oning. But Avelus, we don't find anywhere that it's no Yom Rishon Min HaTorah. That's the Machlokas Rishon, Raya L'Davar, that it says in our Sugya, in Ksubos and Avdalit Amid Aleph, that Meis Aviv Shel Chas and Im Shel Kala, if the father of the Chas and mother Kala dies, they put the dead person in the room. The Chas and the Kala they bring to the Chuppah. They have the Chasana. He's Bo Bilas Mitzvah. He separates from her. Buries the dead. Shivas Yimei Mishta, and afterwards Shivas Yimei Avelus. A very emotional 2 weeks. So if you hold that Avelus Yom Rishon is Min HaTorah, how can the Mishta of the Chuppah, which is the Rabbanan, be Docha Avelus, which is D'Oraisa? So it must be that Avelus Yom Rishon is not D'Oraisa. That's the Machlokas Rishon, and we just brought a raya that it's not D'Oraisa. The Rif holds that it is D'Oraisa because he identifies Aninus with Avelus, just like Aninus is D'Oraisa. Yom Rishon, so too, Avelus is D'Oraisa. And you can look there in the Torah's Adam. I mentioned earlier, he brings to the Gaonim Keshitas Harif, that we learn Avelus Yom Rishon D'Oraisa Me Aninus. And he asks, Zel Shona Ramban, Beni Tamea, Eachlam Du Agonim Avelus Medin Aninus. How did he learn Avelus from Aninus? Lo Zman Shel Zeh, Lo Zman Shel Zeh, the time of this is not the time of that. Mason with the front of Oning Var Torah. When the mace is lying in front of him, he's in Oning Min HaTorah. Zeh Ikar Aninus. And that's the primary Aninus. And also Zman, and at that time he's not an Elva Mam and a Torah Namidivrei Sofrim, but Nikbar Misabel Alav. But if you, after you're covered the mace, then there's Kfur. So how do you identify Aninus with Avelus when they're two different periods? Aninus is before Avel, same as before the Kfur. Avelus is after the Kfur. So Ramban doesn't understand. Similarly, after Lechem Mishnah, the beginning of Chos Evel, Perak Aleph, Halacha Aleph, Akati Kosher, the Rabbeinu, Kosav, the Kaman, Ve'enu Oni Nosa, B'Davrim, and Advarim, Shaval Aser, Dainu Tash, V'Shamita, V'Chitza, the Sicha, Ve'amai, Even the Oni Nosa, B'Kotchem, Lodato, Aninus, V'Avelus Echaru, In Kene, Rosh, Aser, V'Cholos, and Advarim, Shaval Aser, V'Hem, L'Daito, Zal. Even do Aser, Lechol, B'Kotchem, and Torah, Kodem, Kvura. So Lechem Mishnah doesn't understand according to the Rambam that the Onain is not Aser what the Avel is Aser. Tashmish, Chitza, Sicha. He asks why? Since the Onain is Aser V'Kotchem, and according to the Rambam and the Lenus Alavivus are the same thing, so then whatever the Avel is Aser in, the Onain should also be Aser in. He says, I understand, I get, and he'll say, on Tivus Rosh, that we should pater because we could be Mekel because he's Torah B'Skames. So we're not going to make him do Ativus HaRosh, wrap up his head like they used to do, or kneel a sandal, not wear shoes. But when it comes to the other things, because there he's Torah to the mitzvah. But Kol Hashar, Roy L'Chayvo, comes to Tashmish, Chitza, Sicha, should already be L'Chayvo on his own. It's the same type of kasha. If you identify the two, Aninus and Avelus, then how come they're different? How come they're different? They're different time periods, says the Ramban, and they have different halachas, says the Lechem Mishnah. So Gon Rabbi Abba Berman Zechat Tzadik Livracha in his Shuri in the Talmud explains as follows: that the Shitas Hagaonim, and those who follow the Shita of the Gaonim, is that because if Mishnah, and we said that the Gaonim follow the Rif, the Rif is like the Gaonim. So because if Mishnah, right, that the first day is Avelus is Daraisa. So because if Mishnah, the beginning of Hilchos Evel, Paragalaf Locha Aleph is Tamei on the Rambam, who brings a makor the mitzvah Zesei Shel Avelus al Krovim from the pasuk of Achalti Chalti Seon L'Yidei B'nei Hashem. So how do we see mitzvah Avelus? We only see from this pasuk that there are Aser V'Kotchem. Where do you see the mitzvah of Avelus? The Rambam brings mitzvah say of Avelus from this pasuk. Where do you see from this pasuk mitzvah Avelus? You just see Aser V'Kotchem. Be'emes, the Rambam himself in the Sefer Mitzvahs, Mitzvah Say Lamed Zayin, brings another makor for the mitzvah of Evel. Mitzvah Lamed Zayin, you're right, Shemitzdavu Kohanim, Shitamu Lachrovim, Zeh Ba'atzmo Mitzvah Evel, Koloim Akol Yisrael Chayv L'Sablo Krovim. He says that the mitzvah of Avelus is expressed in the fact that the Kohanim become tummy to their Krovim. That's a mitzvah Evel, that every person has to be Misabel al Krovim, and the Kohen expresses this by becoming tummy to their Krovim. So he writes later on in Hilchos Evel, paraphrase Halachavav, Kamachim Mitzvah Avelus, Shrei Nitchis Lo Tatumam Pnei Krofish Yisasek Imayim Yisabel Aleim. And how Chamar the Mitzvah Avelus is that we push off the Tumah for his Krovim in order to be Misasek with them, to be Misabel for them. That's part of his Avelus. So which one is it? Is it the din of Tumah's Krovim that shows his din of Avelus, or Chalti Chatas Yom L'Kev B'nei Hashem? So apparently we have to say that the mitzvah of Avelus is learned from the tseiruf of both of them together. From the pasuk of Achati Chatas Hayom, we know that the person becomes a chefz of an Avel. Because according to the Rambam, the notion, the concept of Aninus and Avelus are one. So from Achati Chatas Hayom, we know that a person becomes a chefz of an Avel. The person himself becomes an Avel. However, we don't know Nihu Avelus. It doesn't tell us anything about being noheg nihuge avelus, that the isser of achilas kachim is not nihuge avelus, but rather it's medin isser kachim, because the Rambam brings in Hilchos Biyus Mikdash and not in Hilchos Evel. From the pasuk of Tumas Krovim, we know nihug avelus, because Tumas Krovim is part of the nihug avelus, like the Rambam writes, and Sabo HaKohanim Sheitam Krovim is that's when mitzvah all the Evel. So the Tumas Kohanim, that's the mitzvah of Evel. Not eating the kachim is not mitzvah Evel, because that's brought down in Hilchos Biyus Mikdash, and the din in Avelus. But this the Rambam brings in Stab Wakanim Shitam Al-Krov, and that the Rambam brings in Ilchos Evel, because that's Medine Evel. So we could say that without the pasuk of Achalti Chatas Hayom, that we know that a person becomes a Chetz of an Avel. We wouldn't explain Tumas Kohanim as part of Nihugi Avelis. We would just say Tumas Krogan Tanim B'fnei Atzma. Now that we know from the pasuk of the Onain that he becomes a Chetz of an Avel, from the Mela we explain that the Tumas Krogan is part of the Nihugi Avelis. That's how he expresses, those are the acts that he does in order to show that he's an Avel. So according to this, for the Kasha of the Ramban and the Kasha of the Lechem Mishnah that we asked earlier, the Ramban says there are different time periods in Inus and Avel, so how can you say Avel is Yom Rishon D'Oraisa? Lechem Mishnah is different halachas, because based on what we said, the explanation is that we say that in Inus and Avel is Davar Echad, that's only Gavei Cheftzah Shel Evel. Shenishas Mitzah, a person becomes a Cheftzah of an Onen and an Avel, an Avel. At that time he becomes both Aninus, which is the period before death, and then he becomes an Avel. That very same time, he's a Cheftzah. Look at this person, how do you identify him? An Onen and an Avel. But the Gabe Nihugi Avelis V'Aninus, and Yimeschalik, it depends on the Patzel. And Hilchos and Nihugi Avelis are completed only B'Shas HaKvura. And because of that, these Surei Avelis aren't Chal until after the Kvura. Mashenkin, it's Rechilos Kachim, it's not Nihugi Avelis. Rather, Hilchos is Surei Kachim, like we said. And therefore it's Shaykh even before the Kvura. And so to the Yisra Rechilos Meiser Sheni, B'Shas Aninus, is not Milchos Ovel. Rather, it's Milchos Meiser Sheni, because the Rambam brings this din in Meiser Sheni and not in Milchos Ovel. And we also see this from the fact that a person says, V'vidu Shal Meiser Sheni Lo Chalti Vonim, and then it's Pashut, that V'vidu Shal Meiser Sheni. He's not saying that he's Makayim Mitzvah Avelus, rather he's Makayim Mitzvah Meiser Sheni. And the Mela, we see that not eating Meiser Sheni V'Aninus. Is it din in Meiser Sheni, not in Aninus, not in Avelus? Since the Yisr Meiser Sheni is not Nihugi Avelus, it's Shaykh that it should be Chal before the Kvur. So not eating Meiser Sheni is not Nihugi Avelus. Not eating the Kachim is not Nihugi Avelus. So the Mela, they're already Noeg before they're Noeg at the time of Aninus. And the Nihugi Avelus are Mishas HaKvura. So therefore, it's referring to the Kashis. So in Achinami, at the time of death, the person becomes a Chetz of an Onen and an Avel. They're one and the same. The only thing is, the Nehugim are Mishtanem et Patzel Mitchalek. That the Nehugi Aninus it's not a din in Aninus, it's a din in Meiser Sheni, a din in Kachim, that you don't eat it when you're an Onen, person is when he's an Onen. And then the Nehugi Avelis only start after the Kvura. The Rosh in our Sugya, Simin Vav, brings the name of the Bahagan Ritzgeis, that B'Sha'ar Krovim, if there are other relatives, what do you do if the person dies? Machnisim is a meis l'cheder, put him in a room, chasim v'kala, go to the chuppah, he's bo bilos mitzvah, separates, buries the dead, and unlike with the parent, he's noeg shivas yemei avelus, and then shivas yemei mishta. Here the shivas yemei avelus come first. Frek the Rav Yo, and I'm quoting his lashon, d'imut live bo bilos mitzvah, and can have a regular gabei. Noeg shivas yemei mishta, v'shuv noeg shivas yemei avelus. Rav Yo says a fresh Danish. If he's mutter for him to be bo bilos mitzvah, so by him it's a regel, and the shivas yemei mishta are noeg, and then the shivas yemei avelus. So once you're already bo bilos mitzvah, it's a regel. So party started, so you should have Shivas and Mishnah and then Shivas and Avelis. How can you say the Shivas and Avelis go right after the Bilas Mitzvah? So to explain this machlokas that we have, that Rav Yah holds that first come to Shivas and Mishnah, and the Bahagan Ritzgeis hold the Rosh brings, that first come to Shivas and Avelis, we have to be choker, not that we require kavura in order that the Nihugi Avelis should start, even though it becomes a Chetz of an Avel, Nishas Misa. Is it because Nigmara Siba Lechalos Niu Gavelus? Is it because the Siba for the Chalos Niu Gavelus finished? Or should we say that Be'emes the Siba for Niu Gavelus, the Siba for Niu Gavelus was already finished Mishas Misa? Is the Matzav of Niu Gavelus is after the Kvura? So what does the Kvura do? Is the Kvura the Siba for Chalos Niu Gavelus? Or is the Kvura is the Siba for Niu Gavelus already the dead? And the matzav of Nihug Avelus is after the Kvura. So what does the Kvura do? Is that the Sibur for the Nihug Avelus, or the Sibur for the Nihug Avelus, the reason for the Nihug Avelus already from the death, And just the matzav of Niyug Avelis starts at the time of the Kvura. We have a similar machlokes, Yavamis, Daf Gimel, Amid Aleph, also Daf Pei Daled, or the Harvei Mekoimus, in Nisurim Rishonim Epilim Yibum, or Misa Mapeles. What do we say? What's Koveh, whether or not there's going to be Yibum? The matzav b'shas when they get married, or the matzav b'shas the husband dies. If there's a co-wife who's an erva at the marriage but not at the death, do we say that since at the marriage there was a co-wife who's an erva and therefore there's no yibum? Or we say no. What's koveh is the time of death, and she wasn't, when the erva was no longer married to the husband, to the now dead husband. So that's the machlokas when Yisurim Rishonim Epilim Yibum Amisam Apeles. The Svar of the Mandiyamar and Yisurim Rishonim Epilim Tzarech Biur. It's pashut that when the husband's alive, there's no yibum. So how can you say Yisurim Rishonim Epilim? That's what is maker. That's what makes her fall to yibum. There's no yibum when the husband is living. So we have to say that the pshat is that etzem hanisuin who has siba liyibum. The etzem, you know what the siba liyibum is? The nisuin. When mishas nisuin, the siba for the yibum already started. And masha einu felis b'chaya baal. You know why she doesn't fall when the husband's alive? It's because the matzav of yibum is after the mitzvahs habal. Get it? Gevaldik. So the matzav only starts afterwards, but the siba is already mishas nisuin. And the other opinion holds misa mapelas. No. That the Sibas Hayibum starts with the Misa, and therefore you go with the Sibas Hayibum. If it starts the Misa, you see what's going on at that time. If it already starts with the Nisuin, then you see what's going on at that time. It's the same Chakira we made about Kvura. Is Kvura the Siba for the Avelis, or just the Matzav of the Niyug Avelis? As al Pizeh, Nir'a B'Biur Shitat HaBehad, Shehu Sover, Shesibat Niyug Avelut, Kvar Nigmera B'Shat Mita. He holds that the siva, the reason for being noeg avelus, already finishes at the time of death. The siva is already there; it's already in place. And not that you require kavura, is only there should be a matzav of avelis. And because of this, he holds that since mishas misa kvar nigmar shial of din avelus la'achar hakavura, since mishas misa it was already finished, a done deal. There's going to be a din avelus la'achar kavura. Therefore, that is me'akev that the Shivas Yimei Mishta shouldn't be chal until after the Shivas Yimei Avelus. And therefore, first you know a Kvura Shivas Yimei Avelus, and then Shivas Yimei Mishta. See? In other words, according to the Bahag, the Siba for the Avelus is already there. So therefore, they got married. You're right, they got married, but since the Siba was already there before the marriage, the very death was... the Sibas Niyug Avelus is already finished b'shas Misa, and the Kvura is only there should be a matzav of Avelus. So since the Siba for the Avelus is already there, that's ma'akev that the Shivas Yimei Mishta shouldn't be chal. And the Neila, he does his Bias Mitzvah, and then they have the Kvura and the Shivas Yimei Avelus. That's the sheet of the Bahag with the Rav. He argued. He said, "What are you talking about? Once you do a Bias Mitzvah, so then." Party started, you have to have the Shivas Yimei Mishta, only then the Shivas Yimei Avelus. So what is he going to hold? He's going to hold either that he agrees to the Iker Yisod, that the Sibur for the Niyug Avelus already finishes B'Shas Misa. He just holds that that's not Me'akev, that the Shivas Yimei Mishta shouldn't be Chal. He holds that it's not Me'akev, that the Shivas Yimei Mishta shouldn't be Chal. That Einochinami, the Siba is already there b'shas Misa, but it's not Ma'akev. So the Bahag holds that the fact that there's a Siba for Avelus is Ma'akev, that the Shivas Yimei Mishta shouldn't be Chal, and then after the Bias Mitzvah, you do the Kvura, and then the Shivas Yimei Avelus. And the Bahag holds, no, you're right, there's a Siba for Avelus, but it's not Ma'akev, the Shivas Yimei Mishta from being Chal, so it's Chal, and then only then is Avelus. Or maybe he argues with the Iker Yisod. He says that the Siba for Avelus only starts b'shas Kvura. And therefore, l'fnei the Kvura, there's nothing that's ma'akev the Shivas Yimei Mishta from being chal. Therefore, they have their bias mitzvah, and then the Kvura and the Shivas Yimei Mishta are chal, because the Shivas Yimei Mishta are already chal before the Kvura. Already chal from the time of the bias mitzvah, they already had already started the Shivas Yimei Mishta, and the male of the kavura, which is the siba for the avelis, is Johnny come lately, it's too late, and it has to wait until after the Shivas Name Nishta. Or again, maybe he's molded to the Ikir so that the Misas is the siba, but that's not enough to be Makar the Shivas Name Nishta. Okay, so we obviously there's loads more to say on this sugya. Any sugya in the first paragraph of Ksubos is going to be loads to say. And I hope that we can return to this sugya. Amen, amen. Shalom, shalom,